Hello, Flosstube. My name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube number 219. Today is Saturday, February 5th, 2022. Fortunately, I'm recording this a little bit earlier than I did last week. Last week, I didn't record till like 10 something at night, and I think it was midnight before it actually posted. So hopefully this is this is a bit earlier. So it's only 5:30ish. Anyway, this is the channel about cross stitch, and we're gonna just jump right in. This is probably gonna be a shortish video because I don't have that much to talk about. Yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, so February, I'm doing WIPGO this year, and I have the February projects that were called for that. I didn't bring it out here, but I met the goal last Saturday for the second of my January WIPGOs. The first one was Spring Scamper. That I met that early on because I was finishing just one segment of that piece. But the second piece I was working on was Piano Cat, which I have the picture from the kit here. This, and so I was working on just one of the gray colors mostly. There's a little bit of the rest of it I did, but so as of last Saturday, I met the goal, which was just 15 days working on it. So I've been working on basically one color, one of the gray colors on here. And so I just finished out the end of the month. The Saturday was the 29th, so I did the 30th and 31st. I just continued on, and so I think I finished like all of that one gray color. It's like the equivalent of 415 is the number that was done. But I think I finished all the gray like around the cat's head, and all the gray that was all that color of gray that was on his leg right here, I think. And I think a little bit of this leg here. But so anyway, so I finished the month on that. It doesn't really look much different from what I showed last week because it's just, more gray stuff. But anyway, so I worked on that till the 31st. And the numbers for February were called, and I want to say 5 and 17, I think. So 17, I'm going to start off with, was, excuse me, Voyage of Discovery. This, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. So I'm working on this middle one, which I guess is the Pinta. this middle ship here. And like I said earlier, this is almost full coverage. These are half stitches up here. At least the water is, I think, and these gray skiddy things. And then there's lots of white for the sails, and there's some clouds here. Now this picture looks like it was done on white Ada, I think. It was Ice Blue Annabelle, it says. 28 count Ice Blue Annabelle is what they used to stitch the model. But but like this color around the top of the ship right here is not stitched. So it looks, white in this picture. But anyway, so that was one of the numbers it was called. And so it's kind of hard to tell, but what I think before was this white area here was done up to this red cross, and so I did a little bit here and above the sail here, and then this section here and this up here, and I'm starting on here. Last time I worked on this, there's a cloud up here. So, and then there's like a mast and crow's nest. There's a few other colors, to complete this, and some grays up here for this top sail there. And then this is all, these little gaps here are all white, I think. And there's some white here, and I think more clouds. And then there's another section here. I want to say more clouds and stuff around here. So yeah, and then the rest of the ship is down here. So I don't know. The goal for this is 10 days. So I think I've only done 1 or 2 on that. So that's Voyage of Discovery, and that is that cloth is 28 count Monica Lugana that I dyed. I have, like I said before, I have 4 ship patterns that all use that same cloth. So the long-term plan, and it's quite long-term, is to stitch all 4 of them on that same, they have that same cloth, but to have, all of them finished. And I'm probably going to frame them all, but I haven't thought that far ahead. But anyway, so yeah, 2/2, 28 count Lugana. And then the other number 5 that was called is Peacock by Nicola Gregory for Design Works. And this is a kit, and came with Ada cloth, but I dyed this Ada like a light purple. The piano cat I had started, it had come with kit Ada also, and I started it the wrong way, and I had done quite a bit of it, and I restarted it on another piece of cloth on 28 count Lugana. But this was the kit Ada that came with it, and I worked on this area here. I think this section and this one were already done from last time I worked on it. So I think all I did was down here. And the goal on this was 10 days also, and I've done 2 days, I think, 2 or 3 days, maybe 2 on here on this one. So, I'm doing I'm like a, for the most part, a color completist. So I'm just doing wherever this blue color occurs in the pattern, and you can kind of see this shape right here that looks like a little comma. That's this one here. So so this shade of blue, as it occurs here and there throughout the bottom. So that's what I've been doing so far on that. So, and it's, it's early in the month, so, I feel like I got plenty of time. And then I'm also, besides WIPGO, I'm also doing the winter cross-stitch camp. For those who haven't watched the last couple weeks, Sherry Truax-Berger, who started this, she has actually a cross-stitch, a cross-stitch shop, basically. She has a knitting shop, and they also now have cross stitch supplies. And if I can find her website for her shop, I'll put it in the description box below. I think it's the Woolly U, I want to say, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, so she had a knitting shop, and then last year, I guess, started getting into cross stitching. I mean, she's always done cross stitching, but she sort of, making contact with more people, and so she did the cross stitch camp last summer, and then since then she has opened the cross stitch section basically of her store. So she and her husband, anyway, so enough people really got into the 3 months of cross stitch camp. We did June, July, and August, and that people wanted to continue it, and so she organized another month of it so it's winter cross stitch camp in this month, February. So starting February 1st and going through the 28th, the challenge idea was to stitch a monochromatic piece. So a few people are doing this. Gathering Berries by Misty Purcell of Luminous Fiber Arts. And I chose this one because I've wanted to do her gathering series, for a long time. I've just sort of like looked at them and gone, ooh, I want to do that. Ooh, I want to do that. But so she has one for each season. But she has, I guess you could look at them as each season. Like this is for winter, possibly. Well, no. I don't know. There are 4 of them anyway. Gathering Berries, Gathering Clover, Gathering Acorns, and Gathering Snowflakes. So anyway, this is Gathering Berries. And like I said, I really like that. It's appropriate for February, and I still haven't made up my mind about the buttons. Haven't. But anyway, so I worked just a couple of days on this, working on the frame. This is Bing Cherry by Classic Colorworks. Is that right? CC. Yeah, it used to be Color and Cotton. Now it's Classic Colorworks. Something like that. Anyway, Bing Cherry. So this is the middle, and yeah, I'm working on the border. The border goes down a little further before it goes there. So yeah, I haven't gotten to the birds yet. And then the other thing I wanted to do was the next the February Rabbit chart. I bought them last year, I guess. I think I bought them like after market or something. But these are by Ink Circles. So this is Tracy Horner of Ink Circles. And so she came up with designs for each month for Rabbit. The tradition is you say Rabbit on the first of each month for good luck. And so so I worked on January for the January chart for cross stitch camp, for one month of cross stitch camp. And the challenge for that particular month was to use a thread or a fabric that you've never used before. And so these are, all 12 of them are designed in Gloriana silks. And I've never used silk before. So when I did the January rabbit chart, it only had 2 colors, because I was a little wary of like the price of the silk threads compared to DMC threads, which are pretty cheap, and even regular cotton threads in fancy floss colors can be they're a little bit more expensive than DMC threads, obviously, but silk threads are can be more expensive than that. And so the January chart only uses 2 colors, a white color and a brown color. Acorns is the brown color. I can't remember what the white is called. Anyway, winter white, or I don't remember what. But anyway, so I had just stitched with silk for the first time on that chart. And then also the fabric I used was a 32 count Murano Carré that I got at Hobby Lobby, that they had just started carrying last year, I guess, or something. So that was my introduction to it. And then I bought the rest of the charts. The October, November, December ones came out in December, I guess. So I got those finally, and so all the others I had bought, and then I just set them aside and then got into them. So I thought, okay, well, February is the perfect time to continue the series, and so hopefully I can do one each month. They're relatively small. They're only 57 by 57. So I have no excuse not to just wedge them in there somewhere. But so here's my progress. I just started this yesterday. Yesterday was Friday. Yeah, yesterday. So there's a little heart, and and so now I'm working on the green right now. This Granny Smith green. And the thing is that so I went ahead and bought all the silks. She has a little chart on the Ink Circles website. There's a chart for rabbit, and there's, if you want, there's like a border that you can choose. There's an individual border, and then there's also like a border if you wanted to put all of them, like on one big piece of fabric. You want to put each, all the months on there. There's also a border that you could do that goes around each month, right? So there's that. And I chose not to stitch the border, and I have in my head doing a sort of a Priscilla version of finishing it. I have some little boxes that I bought at I think at Target. So I have a larger one that I bought the first time, and when I finished this pattern, it came out pretty small, and so my idea was to maybe put it on the front of this box, or maybe on the top of the box, and then all the other months could be in there. And I was thinking of like the way she does with magnets and washers, that she puts, so she can change out each month or whatever, change out monthly designs or change out designs, seasonal designs. So my idea was that if I could stitch each month and put it on magnets and washers and change that box, change each month, and then more recently, I bought a smaller box, which might be more, which might fit, the patterns better. I haven't measured them to see, what would fit. But anyway, my idea is to use one of those boxes to put those finished things on. If I ever FFO them, you know, I'm really bad about that. Anyway, so this is the February one, and I did just one day of it. Yesterday I worked on it, but so I worked on this, and then I decided I really needed to do some of the green to give myself you know, so I wouldn't have to count so far, you know. So I wanted to do the green so that I would have something to count off of. So when I got the skein of Gloriana silk, this one is Quince Blossom, which is this is the little heart, you know, color. And sorry about my hands being my hands being very dry. I got out of the shower and I haven't, you know, put lotion on my hands yet. So anyway, so this one, you know, it came in just, you know, one long skein, and I did what I usually do with these longer skeins. I fold it in half and cut it, fold it in half and cut it, and so I, you know, got down to lengths that I could use. Great. Well, the green, it's Granny Smith green. It came in a smaller skein that you know, this you use, you know, you use one skein at a time basically, and or this is 1/2 that I'm doing, and so, you know, with this little length, I pulled one length off to do this. So the Granny Smith, though, was a smaller skein, and it was already, you know, it was 20 yards, but already like separated into one skein at a time. So, and I guess the way it was wound together or something was harder to, you know, you couldn't really separate it the way you could these, you know, it's a long story. But anyway, so some of it I was able to, you know, pull off and cut lengths. I ended up basically just sort of eyeballing and saying, that looks long, you know, short enough, whatever. And since it's already separated into single strands, right? I ordinarily I don't have a problem. You know, I don't tangle up threads and things like that. I know how to pull it off. You know, whether it's bobbinated, whether it's hanging on these floss cards or whatever. But last night I worked for a long time, you know, pulling off lengths, and somehow I had gotten it tangled up, and so yeah, I have a big wad of tangle here, so I have to spend some more time, you know, undoing this. Oh, that was a mess. But I did get, you know, several lengths pulled off of there, so so I was able to stitch the screen, and I still have some to go there. I just reached a stopping point because I was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But anyway, so that's Rabbit. It's coming along, but so I haven't stitched anything yet today. Today is Saturday. Yeah, I haven't gotten that far. I'm gonna go back and untangle my thread, and then work on something. But because I'm also doing the I Love to Stitch challenge, which is for the month of February, stitching at least 30 minutes a day. And, of course, so far that's not been a problem. And it probably won't be a problem going forward. But yeah, so I'm doing that as well. So another thing I did the other day, what was it? Thursday, I think it was. My sister and I dyed some fabric. My younger sister had bought a Kathy Barrick design called 8 Tiny Reindeer, I think it's called. And it has a little chart for Rudolph. It's a, plus one more. But the model is stitched on a sort of a light blue, icy blue modeled thing. I forget what the name of the fabric is. But so that was kind of what she was thinking. And so we had looked at the stitch count and had bought at, I don't know, Hobby Lobby or Joann's, had bought a piece of DMC 28 count Lugana. And she was saying, oh, that's from Martinez. And I don't know, somehow I had misread or thought the fabric size or whatever. But as I was dyeing it, I thought, is this piece of fabric big enough? Because it was just one of the standard boxed rolls, and they're like 15 by 18, right? And so I was going, what is the stitch count of that piece she's got? So I had texted her, and the stitched area is like 8.5 by 17 and 3/8 or something like that. So it would have been, a tiny bit, above and below. And I was, we were looking at yesterday at the pattern, and there's not really a whole lot you can do to scrunch the pattern, because there's the reindeer and there's a Santa and there's a little bit of snow that you might be able to alter, and and a little bit of snow like in the middle between Santa and but you could maybe take off a few rows here or there, 1 or 2 rows or something, but then you'd still be stitching pretty close to the edge. And so we're gonna have to re-dye. She picked a piece from my stash. I have a whole bunch of white different cloths that we're gonna re-dye another piece to make that that she can work with it. Anyway, so yeah, so we had dyed fabric Thursday, I think it was, and so I had the little shoebox with the blue dye in it that I had used for the piece, her piece. And hold on a second. So I had the blue dye that I had used for the piece of fabric I had dyed for her. And then I talked about last week a dynamic book that I bought that uses like a sort of a daubing technique, right? And so in that book they use like powdered dyes, so they can, I guess, different intensities, on the fabric that they use. And so I put because I use liquid dye, grit dye, I had this little wee yogurt jars, glass jars, and I just put a little bit of purple in one, and with water, purple and green and yellow, and then I used some of that blue dye that I had in the shoebox, and that one I think wasn't very. It was very diluted, so it didn't really show up. But this is what I ended up with, and the light's blowing out a little bit, but yeah, it's pink and purple. I mean, pink, purple and green and yellow. And like I said, the blue didn't. I daubed some blue on there, but it didn't really show up because it wasn't dark enough. If I had made a smaller thing of blue with more dye in it, more intense, it would have shown up better. But this came out very nice. It has a few blue specks in it because some of the blue like little flecks had gotten on there from the jar, from the bottle, from the blue bottle. Um, but yeah, they came out very nicely. I don't have anything specifically in mind for that, but it's a very nice springy color. So then I had, like I said, that shoebox of blue dye, and I just like dumped the green and yellow in there and made a sort of aqua color. And I had another piece of fabric that I dumped in there, and then I had watered up the fabric, and so the purple dye I just poured it on the little exposed mounds of fabric that I had. So this is how that came out. That's a very nice sort of aqua green color with the purple splotches on it. Yeah, so this is 28 count Monaco also. This one that I use the daubing technique on, this is Ada. This is 18 count Ada. So yeah, it's on the small side. So this is a very nice size also. They're not very big pieces. This is an 11.5 by 18, and the other one, the Monaco Lugana, is 15 by 18 also. So they're not very big pieces, but they came out very nice. They're very springy. And oh, I meant to say, this is the rabbit design. This is Monaco. I mean, Murano Carré, 32 count. This one is Pink Splash. It has, I don't know if you can see the little pink dots on there. For the January one I did on ice, and they have a few other colors. So my plan is to do all of these months on one of the Murano Carré colors. So I bought all the ones that they have there. They have ice and pink splash and mustard and rust, I think, and then two like sort of plaid colors. One is gray and one is taupe. And so I've got different colors to choose from for the rabbit designs. And like again, since they're kind of small, I'm able to get maybe two on the fabric if I feel it matches the color scheme well enough. But anyway, so I think that is all that I have for this week. Just hope to get, since the month is still young, I hope to get more of the rabbit and the gathering berries done. And one thing that I realized when I was working, I had worked on, I want to say, the gathering berries chart, and then in the morning, this is I don't know, a couple of days ago, Thursday or Friday, and And so late that night, I was working on Voyage of Discovery. And at one point, it was late at night, and I had gotten up to, I think I had gone to the bathroom, brushed my teeth or whatever, get ready for bed essentially. And I came back to my bedroom with like, I want to do more on Voyage. I'm having fun. I was, enjoying, even though I was just doing white, you know, on those big sails that go on forever, in the clouds. I was actually enjoying it, and I thought, yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I want to stitch some more. Um, and so, as a matter of fact, um, in some ways, it's much easier to just like, you know, stitch away and sort of ignore it, even, I sometimes I'll go, maybe I should go eat something, especially at night. If it's a sort of a fend for yourself kind of evening, that that uh, you know I, I might think, well, I should go eat something before it gets too late, but yeah, sometimes I just like, and I'm just enjoying stitching, and I don't necessarily feel like getting up and doing whatever else. So yeah, it's very easy to get sort of caught up and not do what you're supposed to, all the things you're supposed to do, all your obligations or whatever. But anyway, so I think that's about it. There was something else I was going to talk about, but I think it was just, blah, blah, blah. Nothing important, nothing stitching related necessarily. But yeah, so that is about all I have for now. So hopefully next week I'll have some more done. I want to say, if you won the giveaway, those should be arriving on the parts I sent out should be arriving, uh, and like by Monday, I think is what they told me at the post office, and the Teresa that won the chart giveaway, Charlotte had mailed that already, so you should have gotten that by now, I hope. Let me know if you have any problems getting um, those packages in the mail. That, like I said, the post office told me should be Monday, that you get the packages that I sent that had the scissor fobs and the needle minders in it. And that is about it, I think. Yeah. So like I said, I will see you next Saturday, and hopefully I'll have more progress to show you. And I think that's it. Again, my name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and for everybody up in the northeast, I had seen just earlier today about how, Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitching were gonna go to the Steel City Stitchers retreat that they were having this weekend, and they got hit by the big snowstorm went through there, and they were, unable to drive on the snowy, icy streets. And yeah, my niece is up in Boston, and they didn't get too bad, I think, this time. But yeah, that there's been a lot of snow up there and very cold, and I guess it went up in the northeast area, so lots of people got hit by that storm. And it's, I don't want to whine, but it's not been that bad here, but it's gotten down into the, say, upper 30s, like 37, 39, whatever at night. It's gotten but relatively warm, 68, 70 during the day in the morning. And it doesn't sound like that cold, but it's kind of like a little cold if you were like, out in it, standing around outside, not doing anything. It's a little cool, especially I think the other day, Wednesday or Thursday, it was very windy. But so it's cold enough to wear a jacket here. But so we haven't had a lot of really intensely cold weather, but it's been cool for Phoenix, for Arizona. But yeah, in the Northeast, people have had lots of snow. So yeah, stay warm and just stay inside and stitch. You don't need to go outside. You don't need to go out in the snow. When I was a kid growing up in Arizona, I mean, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, there was an article once about how, like, yeah, parts of the country, get snow and they get out there and they go to work and they, driving those, they have snow tires or chains or whatever. And it's like in Albuquerque, it's like it snows and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's good. I'll stay inside and drink hot cocoa. What makes more sense, And so yeah, you don't want to shut the world down just because there was a little bit of snow, but it's like, yeah, if it snows a lot, to where it's dangerous or your power goes out or whatever, why are you going to work? Why are you getting out in that? I need to just stay home. But yeah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so if you had a lot of snow in your area, be careful. Stay home if you can. If you have to be out in it driving around, be careful. But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to tell you all to be careful if you're out in that area. Okay, so I will see you next week, and until then, happy stitching. Bye.